I was taking my, I was grabbing this and Rabbi's like, where are you?
All right, good evening, everyone. Is everyone able to hear me okay? When the Zoom started and it said recording in progress, that's a very heavy thing to hear so loudly in a shul. Recording in progress. All right. So I want to welcome everyone to this very important event as we come to the close of Yom HaShoah, of Holocaust Remembrance Day. As we come together to give support to our brothers and sisters, and it's doubly important that we're doing it tonight, as we know that we're going into Rafah tonight, and we need to make sure that we're going to be davening for our Chayalim, and an event like this of Jews coming together to show support actively, not just showing but giving support to our brothers and sisters in Israel is doubly significant. Tonight, we know that we're here to kick off really this partnership that we're embarking on between Adat Yeshurun, the JNF, along with the Shlomit community in the southernmost tip of Israel, literally just a few moments away from Gaza, Rafah, Egypt, and coming together tonight to actively start giving that support is something that is tremendous. But I want to begin by first lighting some candles, 6 candles, in memory of the 6 million Kedoshim, holy souls, that were taken and are now in the loftiest of places, but in the most horrific fashion they got there, as well as 6 additional memorial candles for the 6 brave Giborim, the heroes of the Shlomit community that we're going to hear more about this evening. Just to also run through the program a little bit, is that we're going to be lighting these candles. We'll then say a chapter of Tehillim, a psalm to pray for the Chayalim, for the soldiers that are embarking on their mission this evening, as well as we're going to say the prayer for the IDF. Afterwards, we're going to hear a few words of introduction from Francis Lohman, who is a shadchan of sorts, a matchmaker of sorts between Adat and JNF with Shlomit. And then we're going to, of course, hear the person that we're all interested in hearing this evening, Yedidya, that's joining us on Zoom because of everything that's going on in Israel, especially where they are. And we're going to hear from Yedidya, and then there's going to be some closing remarks after that point. So we'll begin with the lighting ceremony. So I would just ask for all those who have, who are either first, second, or third generation of survivors from the Holocaust, if they could come and, assuming that there are any here, I know I am one, to come and join us in lighting the candles. Come up now, please. David. Ask everyone to please rise so we can recite chapter of Tehillim to pray for the Chayalim. In the blue sheets, Psalm 121.
Shir Lamalo, Esayin Rim Nine, Adonai, Osesh, my God, Adonai Shomraka Adonai Tzilcha Yadinato Yo Hashem Shlo Yakeka Abriapa Lailo
To the prayer for the Chayalim for the IDF. Misha Berach Avadenu Avram Mitzav Yaakov, Uyivarech et Chayalei Tzava Agana Yisrael v'Anshei Kofod HaBitachon, Ha'omdim Al Mishmar Tzin v'Eloheinu Migvul Al Lebanon v'Midbar Mitzrayim, U'minei Yam HaGadol Al Nevar Haba v'Yabasha v'Aviru v'Yam, Yitein Adonai Dovinu Akamim Aleinu Nigafim Lefnehem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishmor v'Yatzil Chayalinu Mikol Tzarav Tzukah, Chonegel Machalav Yishlach Bracha v'Atzlacha b'Chol Maaseh Yedehem, Yad Bersonin etachtehem v'yatrem b'ked Yeshua v'aten nitzachon v'kiyam hem hakatuf ki Adonai Elohechem aleichem achem v'ilachem lachem imo v'eichem lehoshiyatchem v'nomar Amen. Everyone may be seated.
This video.
Fellow congregants, members of Adat, visitors, and Israel supporters. It is my honor to introduce you tonight to Yedidya Harush. He was born and raised in Gush Katif in the southern Gaza Strip, and just to place it on the map, the southern border of Gush Katif was Rafah. So now everybody knows where it is. His family was forced to leave their home in 2005 when Israel unilaterally decided to withdraw from Gaza. Committed to his community and to Ben-Gurion's vision of making the desert bloom, he endured the hardship of resettlement to a barren desert with Gaza on one side and Egypt on the other. Starting from nothing, Yedidya has led the way in building the 3 Halusa communities of Shlomit, Nave, and Bnei Mitzarim into an oasis of joy, love, faith, and opportunity. Yedidya is a decorated IDF soldier who played a critical role during Operation Protective Edge in 2014. In the immediate aftermath of October 7th, he was once again called to the reserves to fight in Gaza. He continues to defend and to protect our homeland. He is the embodiment of determination and resilience. Military obligations prevented him from an in-person visit tonight, so he joins us today virtually. Please join me in welcoming Jewish National Fund USA's Chalutza Liaison, Yedidya Harush.
Good evening, everyone. Here it's early morning. It's 5:17 in the morning. A very long night. I actually just finished a guard duty in the community about 2 hours ago. Had guard duty almost all night. This evening we went into Rafah after waiting quite a long time to go into Rafah. And as a community that is very close to the border, we can hear very, very loudly every explosion, every helicopter. As we're speaking, there is a helicopter above my head who's helping the ground forces to maneuver within the neighborhoods of Rafah. The IDF went into 4 different neighborhoods in Rafah and continuing so. In addition, the IDF has stationed a battalion of artillery. It's about 300 soldiers that are basically staffing 9 different cannons of artillery, and every explosion is heard very, very loudly. You may even hear while we're talking, there were about 5 while the rabbi was speaking, and there was just one. I don't know if you can hear it, but the explosions are very loud, which wakes the kids up and keep them up at night. And so even when we are at home, we have to deal with that. But today I want to focus on a few different things, which are the complete answer to these terrorists, Hamas, and to this beautiful partnership that we are forming with Adat and incredible people of San Diego. As we are very, very excited here in the community for this up and coming partnership. Let's touch about a few points that I wanted to address tonight. And first and foremost, you have to understand that the story of Chalutza, which you're going to learn as we go, and when you come visit, you'll realize that the story of Chalutza, the story of Shlomit, more specifically, is a heroic story, not just of October 7th, but the whole meaning of this community is not just another community in Israel. This community came to the ground, and every resident and every family that chooses to come and live here from day one, much longer before October 7th, they are in a way heroes who don't wear uniform. They don't seem any different. They don't wear a gown or the superhero suit, but they are heroes because of their way of life, which is in one way, very simple life, very simple. You don't see anything special, but coming to live here and choosing to come to live in the Chalutza communities, in the Shlomit community, to be part of builders of the state of Israel. It's very special, very unique to be on this corner of Israel, of Egypt and Gaza, where there was once just sand dunes not so long ago. A lot of us, like myself, who came from Gush Katif, who came from Gaza, and despite everything, decided to still choose to continue and move on and coming here to a place that has nothing, and raising our children through these challenges, which is on one hand could be, why are you going there? Why can't you go elsewhere? But understanding that this is our home. We have no home. We are you just lit 6 candles for the 6 million Jews, our brothers, our sisters, our grandparents and great grandparents were murdered, were choked, were killed, were burnt because they were Jews, nothing else. And finally, after 2,000 years, we come back, we return to our homes, to our home, our beloved land of Israel, and manage to create our homeland and declare our country and our freedom against all odds. After exactly 3 years after the Holocaust ended, and managed to build what we call the startup nation. It's beyond remarkable. And yes, we do go through different challenges as a young country and maybe now a little less young. And but we can never forget the big picture. We can never stop and take, we have to do it from time to time, to stop and take a zoom out on our life and understand what we're really facing, and that we belong to a much bigger and longer chain. We're just one link of a longer chain, but guess what? We're the strongest link of that chain. And the fact that I can sit this evening from the border with my uniform, you can see the Star of David on my shoulder, and wear it proudly, and have my gun, okay, and not be afraid, and be able to fight and hear explosions, and knowing it's not us getting bombarded or getting killed. It's the opposite. It's us attacking the dark forces of the world. This is victory. And yes, we go through hard times and challenges because this is who we are. We're the Jewish people. And as Jews, we never, like we say in Hebrew, licked honey. It was always challenging, always different challenges, from pogrom to a Holocaust to Inquisition to different dark times in our history. And yes, now it's another one of those challenges. But thank God that we have the ability to protect ourselves. Thank God that we have the opportunity to live in our homeland and say we have a homeland. And for anyone who ever feels in danger can make aliyah and come live in Israel. And this is exactly what it's all about. And days like Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Memorial Day, gives us a very strong reminder what we're all fighting for. I was in Gaza for 4 months. I can feel exactly what those young guys who are maneuvering right now in Gaza, including my brother, 3 of my cousins, my neighbors, are going through right now. I don't know if you can hear the explosions, but they're very, very loud. I can feel them fighting in Gaza. On one hand, there is a lot to lose, as someone who has 4 kids and a family and a career. You put your life on the line every second. Every second you can get shot at by anti-tank missiles, by snipers, by side bombs, by rockets. But on the other hand, your heart is filled with pride that you're doing the right thing. You're fighting those forces that on October 7th went into our communities and raped and killed and burnt and murdered and kidnapped babies and women and moms. moms and elderly and innocent people. And the same destination should have happened in Pre-Gan when our 4 heroes chose to not stay home, but go with our security team to protect the nearby community of Pre-Gan, which it's a story that you'll learn about, but it's a heroic story. And as I said, does not begin on October 7th. It does not. It's a result of a way of life, of values that we have in the communities of giving and always giving. Let me, it's incredible. It's incredible how the first responding went to fight on a 2-hour fight, went to save lives of hundreds and hundreds of people that we don't even know who they are. We don't even know what their political views are. We do know that it's probably the opposite of ours. It's opposite religious life, but it didn't matter. What we had on October 7th was the beginning of the correction of the ugliness of what was going on in Israel prior October 7th, October 6th and before, of the division, of the hate. My friends, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you hold in your political views or your religious life. Nothing of that matters. You know why? Because it didn't matter to Hamas. When they went in, they didn't matter to the Nazis. We don't have to do much more than them, but look at ourselves just like as they look at us. For them, we are settlers. For every Hamas, we are settlers. Doesn't matter if we live in Be'eri, or we were a person going to shul in Sderot, or we were a young man or a woman dancing in the Nova party, or we were someone living in Shlomit or Pre-Gan. You're a settler, you're a Jew, you need to die. When they investigated the Hamas Nukhba that they caught, the special forces of Hamas, they asked them, so what happened? You went into the house, and what happened? He said, I went in and I was shooting everyone, and then I heard crying of a baby from the bomb shelter. So the cop asked him, so what did you do? He said, I was shooting towards the bomb shelter until I stopped hearing crying. So he said, but it's a baby. How could you do such a thing? He said, doesn't matter. It's a settler. Every settler has to die. They don't care. What we have to do is we have to be united. And the acts of October 7th from the community of Shlomit was the beginning of that unity that everybody now is chanting and living by, which is beautiful. And it's acknowledged by the state of Israel because we were chosen to be one of those torchlighters and one of those spots that they are lighting the torch from this year. In the Independence Day, they usually do it on Herzl Mount. This year, they chose to do it on different spots on the Gaza envelope. And let me tell you a beautiful story. One of our guys were wounded on October 7th, was critically wounded. His name is Michael Garazman. And yesterday, he started a new initiative of making food for the soldiers who are going into Rafah. Actually, we ended up giving it to the Givati Brigade that 2 of their soldiers were killed just 2 days ago on the attack. And him, without a hand functioning, helping to manage, different volunteers who came into his house and barbecued and make beautiful sandwiches to the soldiers. This is the community of Shlomit. To give and give and give, and then give and give and give. And I think it's such a beautiful partnership to have you guys on the other side of the ocean partnering with us to help us create this beautiful synagogue. And why a synagogue? What's so important about the shul? The same building you're sitting in right now and the same building I'm going to be, in a different community because we don't have one. We have a very small temporary one, in just a few minutes. Is that on October 7th, they did what they did because we were Jews. So what is the answer? Is to strengthen our Jewish identity, to build the synagogue synagogue is probably the most important building in our community. It's going to be a building which is beautiful building, which is going to house all the prayers, all the davenings, all the gatherings. You know, big gatherings as a community. You meet in shul. That's what happens. It's the last time we met as a community was the Friday night of October 6th. That's the last time we saw our friends was in shul. And because they wanted to hurt our Jewish identity, and you know, the horrific stories of October 7th show more than anything that that's what they wanted to do, to ruin our Jewish identity, to kill us because we were Jews. We want to build a building that is the, you know, the most important Jewish symbol, which is a synagogue. I mean, the temple, but it's now built yet in Jerusalem, God willing soon. And until then, we're building a synagogue, which is going to be in the center of the community with a huge Magen David, a huge Star of David. It's going to face Hamas and right in Rafiah, God willing, there won't be any Hamas and ISIS in Egypt. And they will be very big and very, very seems like to show everyone that Am Israel Chai. And we are here to stay. And nothing is going to break us. They tried to break our bodies and to kill us on October 7th. One thing they'll never be able to do is break our spirit. And after 5 months of being in a hotel, we decided to return to our homes, despite those explosions that you hear as we speak. And we know that we will fall, and we know that we will cry, and we know that we will get hurt. And we know that we might have many challenges along the way. But one thing we know for sure, it will never happen. We will never give up. We will never give up. Doesn't matter what they try to do. Doesn't matter what challenge we have facing us. And we are here, and we know we have partners, beautiful, incredible partners who are going to help us achieve the goals of the community, the bigger vision of building the Negev, building the Gaza envelope. Our job will be to bring thousands more families to this area, thousands more smiling babies, plant thousands more trees, build kindergartens and daycare centers and community center and the synagogue. You'll help us build those physical structures. Our job will be to fill them up with beautiful, incredible people. This is the beautiful partnership. I promise you, when you come visit here, you'll find the happiest people. You'll find strongest people. People you can trust and count on that will continue to build our homeland. Our homeland. So you can keep living in San Diego safely. We got to make sure we have a strong Israel, and that's what we're doing. And thanks to the Jewish National Fund, who's been the most incredible partner, we managed to build this community. Jennifer was here for us from day one. They were our partners from day one when there was just sand dunes. And JNF is the kind of organization that doesn't tell you what to do. They ask you what is that you need in order to achieve your vision and your goals. Our joint vision of building the Negev. And that's what we're going to do. So tonight, we're going to make it happen. We're going to help us, help the people of Israel, help the Jewish people, wherever they may be, by building this community. You're asking, what is the real answer to the terrorists? Yes, it's also those explosions of artillery that we hear, and the helicopter, and our IDF brave soldiers who are fighting. But the bigger is building the community, is building the Gaza envelope. If you ask a Holocaust survivor, what is your victory over the Nazis? They will not tell you it's America and the Allies who beat Germany. They will tell you it's my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids. And it's that state of Israel that was just declared 3 years after the Holocaust. It's that startup nation. So what do you ask? If you ask me or anyone from our area, what is the victory over Hamas? It's the return to our homes here and the rebuild of this area and the bringing of thousands of more families here and the raising of the flag, the huge Israeli flag, and showing we are here and we are here to stay. And we're going to do it together. So please keep praying for our soldiers. Please keep the unity strong. And it starts from the family and friends and cousins and neighbors. And to all the people, remember to look at everyone and look at their soul and not their body. Always look at the souls of the person. And the last thing is, let's keep continuing building our homeland to show the world that this is our homeland and we're going to keep building it and living in it. And God willing, until, like we say next year in Jerusalem, Am Yisrael Chai. Toda Rabba. Thank you so much. From the border of Gaza in Egypt, sending you big hugs and love and appreciation on behalf of all the people of Shlomit, all the people of Chalutza, the people of the Gaza envelope, and our 4 heroes up there are looking down and are very, very proud. Am Yisrael Chai. Toda Rabba.
Can't really follow that. It's unbelievable. So just before, we're going to show a video that gives a little bit more background to the partnership with Shlomit that we're embarking on. And I do have to apologize that this video was actually curated before the Adat and JNF partnership came together. That would happen more recently. So apologies, and but the partnership is absolutely there, and that we wouldn't be able to accomplish this goal that we're off to accomplish of trying to help them build their synagogue without the JNF's help. And so we're going to see a video now that's going to give a little bit more background for those that are unfamiliar with Shlomit, with their story, with everything. We'll hear a little bit more from Yedidya in the video and from some others in the community. But just want to take a moment just to address, for at least all of the members of Adat Yeshurun here, and for those that aren't members of Adat Yeshurun, maybe you're unaware that right now is one of the busiest times of year for Adat, in that we are doing our annual fundraiser. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year. Our just annual operating budget is dependent on the fundraiser. We have the chairs of the fundraiser that are here tonight, Colin and Jane share. And so many have asked the question, so then if that's the case, that you're embarking right now on your most important fundraiser of the year that we're doing in honor of Israel, also in honor of the Marcuses, Brian and Suzanne, President and First Lady of the Shul. He's sitting in the ladies section because Suzanne is not here, so he's both President and First Lady. That if that's the case, then what are you doing also trying to raise an equal amount of money for Shlomit? I mean, we're trying to raise $250,000 for both at the same time. I mean, that sounds ludicrous, right? Or raising a tremendous amount of money that are at the exact same time for a totally different community of people that you've never met, people that are not members of your community, that are they're 8,000, 9,000 miles away, while you have to raise critical funds just to get through the next year. So the answer is something that Yedidya had hinted to, which is that we wouldn't be able to comfortably be sitting in this room, having a shul with all of the davening and prayer and learning and programming and families coming together and having a safe haven in San Diego, if not for the state of Israel. The state of Israel needs to exist. We as a people cannot exist without the state of Israel. That was what Rabbi Soloveitchik suggested as to how is it possible that in much more worthy generations like those of the Rambam, Maimonides, or the Vilna Gaon, the greatest, most righteous people, the state of Israel did not exist. And yet in our generation, where arguably it's less righteous of a generation, how is it that there is a state of Israel? And he said, obviously we don't know the answers to these questions, but it's pretty obvious and can't be ignored over the fact that just 3 years after the establishment of, right after the destruction of 1/3 of world Jewry, of 6 million that were just murdered in cold blood for absolutely no reason other than the fact that they are Jews, that the only way we would have been able to get on is with a state of Israel, with a homeland. That's the only way we would have been able to continue to survive. And now, in a post-October 7th world, when you have a university just up the block that needed to cancel classes today because the rest of the world hadn't learned the lessons of Hitler, or rather learning lessons from Hitler, that world can't go on without there being a strong state of Israel at the exact same time. So if we need to be taking care of ourselves, and we always speak about how much we love Israel. So as we say all the time, it's not enough to say I love you, we have to do I love you. And it's not only for them, but it's for us. That if we are going to have a strong community here and a safe haven here, then there needs to be success in a community like Shlomit. And if that doesn't happen, then what type of safety are we going to be able to enjoy here in La Jolla? And that's why we're doing this. That's why we are taking this most critical moment for our shul and also trying to do the exact same thing for the Shlomit community. So we're going to now watch a video that tells a little bit more of the story. We want to thank Hilda Cohen and Karen Aaron for all the hard work in putting the video together. Really, they put a tremendous amount of time into it. So really, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
As you all know, we're partnering with the Shlomit community, and if you took time to read the letter, the background of Shlomit, who they are, what they stand for, what they have done for others, and literally saving others' lives while risking and giving their own, it jumps off the page how incredible the community they are, and unfortunately hard to introduce them to Yedidya, to Dana, to the members of the Shlomit community, and it really is the perfect fit for them to be our adopted community on the southwest border of Israel from here in Jolla.
Toda Rabba, Kod Harav, for the encouraging, the empowering words. So what is home? Where is home? Where are we? My parents are originally from Sinai and came to basically to live in Gush Katif after Israel made peace with the Egyptians, and they were asked to move to extend the existing settlements, communities within the Gaza Strip. 2005, the Prime Minister Rachel decided to disengage from the Gaza Strip. But back then, had a decision to make whether we choose negative, as some people did, or choose positive because we believe in the people of the land of Israel. That they basically went up to the government and asked for the next national mission. Said, we are upset, we disagree with what you did, but where is the next national mission we want to be? The government basically sent us and put that it's very strategic location on the map called the Halutz Sands. It's a place that is located on the tribal border near Egypt and Gaza, a place that's never been developed or lived in before. Joke with Israel was always, if you want to go to Halutz, it's very easy, you drive from there to the world, make left, and you just keep going. This is how you get to Halutz. It's like a hole in the wall. It's 450 yards from, I'm pointing, because like mom, it's really right here, 450 yards from the Egyptian border, and a little less than 2 miles from the Gaza border, And what was here? Nothing. Sand, sand, and a little bit more of sand. And it's far from everywhere. So you have all the great reasons, in addition to our great neighbors that we have across the border, why not come here? And the 15 families that the government, this is where you need us, in Haiti. We're here, we're going to do it. And just like that, over the years, against all odds, the communities succeed to take a place, piece of desert, and create it into an oasis. And bring over 460 families, three beautiful communities of Adat Yeshurun and Shlomit, and take an area that was known as the place of death that nothing can grow on, and turn it into an oasis that is responsible for growing over 82 different species of fruits and vegetables. And throughout the years, we dealt with different situations, different challenges, overcome them. And it's a beautiful community with a very strong sense of mutual commitment. We say because we are so far away from our own families, we became like a big family that takes care of each other.
Hello to everyone. I'm Dana. And Aviad's wife, the hero Aviad. Aviad was the chairman of Shlomit, and he also was part of the first response team. I know for sure that even though he will know the situation, the result of the battle he was going, because when he knows that there is a Jewish people that need help, he's going. Because Am Israel is more important than himself.
But the heroism of the whole community, understand that the community, we're going to help another community. To have such a heroism doesn't start on October 7th. It's laid on roots that are much deeper. On a community that is built with the sense of ideology, but we chose to come here because we understand that we have the privilege of being amongst the builders, the pioneers of the state of Israel. And where life ended, we're starting to build the Nature Center where life starts. And this is the message to the world, the Am Yisrael.
Rebuilding and expanding on their first day home.
This is the answer to Hamas. This is the answer to the terrorists, to the dark forces of the world. That we're Am Yisrael, we're the Jewish people, we're returning to our home. We're not just returning, we're building and growing.
We believe in this place, and we want this place will continue, and we don't want to give up. And we want to build a new shul. And in the top of the shul, we want that to be Magen David. And this Magen David will be seen from Sophia, from Egypt, and they will know we're not going to give up. We're not. Because Am Yisrael have the strength, Am Yisrael have the power to continue and to face all the challenges. And we need just to be unity. This is what we need.
We're going to build because we're Am Yisrael high. We're very, very lucky to have you as our partners. You're maybe 8,000 miles away, but I can tell each and every one of you can make a huge difference on our life. Help us, push us with your fingertips to move forward with full strength rebuild everything. Bezrat Hashem, only celebrate in full. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
We need your support, and we're trying to raise $500,000. Please be as generous as possible in order so that we can sustain both of our local units, to be able to sustain our community here in the Hoya and Adat Yeshurun, and also be able to sustain and help rebuild our adopted community in Shlomit on the south.
We're also raising money for the wake up machine. So really, as you know, we're said a number of times already, we do need everyone's help to try and accomplish this goal. You'll see that there are some QR codes that were passed out. That's to give money specifically to Shlomit. And then, of course, if you can, please register and join us and donate generously to the Adat Gala, where we're going to be celebrating this partnership. And also, we know that at least Yedidya and hopefully a couple other members of the Shlomit community are actually going to be here in person. You'll be able to meet them and get to know them and really build that relationship. Before we close the event, we just have a tremendous pleasure to have with us. And as we mentioned, that we're really building this relationship with JNF, and they're helping us with this partnership that we have. Jackie Schneider here is going to be sharing some of the work that JNF is doing. And then before we head over to get some of the light refreshments, we're going to hear a few words as well from our gala chairs from Jane and Colin Share. Jackie, please.
Well, it's especially joyful for me because I know Yedidya. He is my friend. He's our affiliate. I have visited him at his beautiful community. My brother and I funded the beautification of a bomb shelter that is in Shlomit. So when we visited Israel, we arranged to meet with Yedidya for a whole day. He gave us a tour of his community. We met his family, we saw the new dairy, and we got to see our bomb shelter. And we will see him again as my husband and I are leading a mission with Jewish National Fund to go and volunteer in Israel. We'll be leaving June 19th. If anyone would like to join us, there's a few spots left. Well, Jewish National Fund USA partners with nonprofit organizations and municipalities on the ground in Israel to fulfill our mission. We are unparalleled in the Jewish philanthropic world. Our strategic vision has been and always will be to ensure a strong, secure, and prosperous Israel. We plant trees, yes. We build houses and parks. We source water solutions. We buy fire trucks and improve the lives of people with disabilities. We boost tourism. And we support Aliyah. We actually have an American Study Abroad high school in Israel with 2 campuses. We also support Zionist education and engagement, and we fund agricultural and culinary research. So you can see that our partnerships are consistent with our strategic vision, which is population growth in the North and the South, and connecting our next generation to our homeland, Israel. JNF USA has worked closely with these border communities for decades, from Halutza to Shar HaNegev, from Sderot to Ofakim. We've been there long before October 7th. And we are going to be rebuilding their homes and their communities by their side for the months and years to come. Additionally, there have been families evacuated from 28 communities in the north. Oh. Oh.
Careful.
That is great.
This partnership is on fire.
Feels like this is illuminating. That's really. Okay. So. Okay. So,
We're good.
okay, so families have been evacuated from 28 communities in the north. And they are fearful that a second front might emerge. I mean, obviously there are missiles coming in from the north now, but more engagement is definitely in our minds. Our affiliates and partners are the ones who have been temporarily and very sadly displaced from their homes. They are the ones who have been called up for reserve service. You saw he was gone for 5 months after October 7th. And sadly, they are the ones who have been called to bury their loved ones. JNF USA's resilience campaign was launched to provide emergency aid to those affected by the brutal attack on October 7th. And we are continuing to support a nation at war. Don't worry, I won't speak. We have been supporting them by offering quality psychological and therapeutic treatments. We've been providing firefighting and protective equipment for civil defense, and also activities for children who've been traumatized by terror. We've been providing childcare for families that have both parents working at this time. And we've been showing up, which Francis can attest to help in agriculture, to keep those crops growing for the farmers who have lost all of their itinerant workers. So I hope now you know a lot more about Jewish National Fund, and you know that we do a lot more than just planting trees. In closing, I want to say that it is my honor and privilege to serve on the board of Jewish National Fund in San Diego as the president, and to serve alongside Francis Logman, who has been on the board a lot longer than I have. I want to thank her so much for this tremendous initiative that she has taken on to forward this community partnership in building Shlomit, a new synagogue with Adat Yeshurun. So thank you all for being here.
That is my president, she's my Madam President. And I am on one of the Gaza Envelope Task Force, and have been working with Shahaneged still in the HaShoah Regional Council where Kibbutz is located, and have known and been seen at least once or twice a year in person, Yedidya, which and I've been to Shlomit, and that's how this whole thing started. As soon as the word Shlomit came out of the rabbi's mouth, I kind of said, wow, we've been doing a lot of stuff there, and maybe we can add to this. So that's how it happened.
That's wonderful. That's
Wonderful.
Rabbi, friends, for all of us sitting in our sacred space tonight, our treasured shul is the foundation stone of our attachment to our local and global Jewish communities. Most of us cannot remember a more challenging and difficult time for Israel and for the worldwide Jewish community as we currently are going through. We are all contributing to the most important causes to bolster Israel, students of all ages, and those that have lost so much to this ongoing bitter crisis. As you have heard and will continue to hear, we are focusing our essential fundraising on the needs of the Adat community, as well as the needs of our Shlomit family. Jane and I have personally pushed ourselves to proudly increase our gift to our shul, even as we, like all of us, are supporting other vital organizations. Please join us in that when you consider your always welcome contribution. Our family could do no less. 2 of our nephews spent 5 months in Gaza, and another was in a trench in the freezing cold on the Lebanese border for 90 straight nights. Far too many families have sacrificed far too much to keep Jews safe. They and the families of Shlomit are the true heroes of these times. Please join us, give as much as you possibly can. There are no worthier causes. Feel the power that surrounds us right now. Imagine the exponential increase in that power as we fill the space for our gala, unlike any other in the proud history of Adat Yeshurun. Come early and bring your friends. It matters, perhaps more than one could imagine.
Yom HaShoah, a siren, a moment of silence, a level of grief that words cannot describe, the abyss of pain, the promises that will never be fulfilled, the hopes that will never be realized, the memories that will never be created, the emptiness of what could have been and never will be. The average age of people murdered on October the 7th was 30. They were full of life, full of plans, full of future, full of potential. When a person dies, our plea, may their souls be bound up in the eternal bonds of life, is also possibly an obligation for the living, because our people always respond by affirming life. But how do we consecrate life amid so much death? We do it the Jewish way, by coming out of tragedy stronger, better, more alive than ever, choosing life. Zionism is about choosing life, but it's also about something else, transforming Jews from victims to victors, not only militarily, but also existentially, keeping our spirit, our values, our love of life. We cannot always choose what happens to us, but we can choose how to react. In Jewish history, every generation has had a moment in which it has to decide between victim or victor, a challenge that defined them and determined how history judged them. 2 generations ago, it was the creation of Israel. The previous generation, it was the 6th Day and the Yom Kippur Wars. For us, it is now. This is our 1948, a moment in which the impossible becomes realistic, an invitation to transcend limitations, to think big, to create something better, to be hopeful. Hope is the belief that together we can actively make things better. It takes a great deal of courage to hope. Jews keep hope alive even in the darkest moments, but hope also keeps us alive. To have hope, one needs vision. To cross the desert, one needs a picture of a promised land. We need to be bold, to have daring dreams of what we can achieve together. This is one way to honor the memory of those we lost and keep them bound in the bond of life. So, what is our role in the unprecedented crisis that we are confronting? 1, now is the time to give boldly. Unprecedented times require unprecedented generosity. Never again is now, and we need to give above and beyond.
If we could create Israel in 1948, what can we do today? 2, we can focus inwards. We Jews rightfully pride ourselves in being universalists and concerned with all humanity. But during this crisis, it's become increasingly clear that we are alone. Aside from the historic support from the US and the UK since October the 7th, for which we are eternally grateful, organizations that we funded, universities we helped build, people we supported, museums we built, mostly turned away from us. 3, dream big. Dreaming is healing, so we need to dream. Bold visions to imagine the impossible. We've always been people for whom only the impossible is worth doing. 4, collaborate. None amongst us has the power, the resources, the intelligence to solve the intractable problems that we are facing. We need to pool our resources, our brain power, and our ingenuity. We need intellectual humility to admit that we don't know everything and to work towards finding solutions together. Humility is not thinking that we're small. It's thinking that other people have greatness within them. And a huge thank you to JNF for being willing to collaborate with us as we work together for Shlomit. 5, leadership. It's no secret that there is now a crisis of leadership. So we can complain, or we can take on leadership ourselves. And I think that's what we're doing. When Moses complained about us in the desert, saying that we were stubborn and a stiff-necked people, he didn't realize he was actually giving us a secret to our survival. To our enemies, we say, we will not only defeat you, we will transcend you. In Israel, a tiny piece of land that we call our own, sanctified by the dreams and hopes of 1,000 generations, made holy by the blood of our brethren who died to give us life, the soil irrigated by tears of sorrow and joy, the land of beginnings that never end, we say a single phrase that sanctifies life, that is an affirmation and a prayer. Here with the voice of millions across time and space, with those who preceded us and those who will follow. Here we will stand tall and proud, and we will shout with our entire being, Am Yisrael Chai. Please take this opportunity with Adat Yeshurun to lead. Please join us at the Adat Stand with Israel Gala and do whatever you can to make this a better world.
Want to thank everyone for coming, and really, if you could help out in any way, but please try and be generous. As I mentioned, it's 2 fundraisers happening at the exact same time. There is the Adat Gala that not only please register, please make sure to come, and also to please give as generously as possible, as well as was trying to raise an equal amount of money for Shlomit. And you have the QR codes, and that also will be sent around in a link that you can donate online. That the JNF is helping us secure those funds for Shlomit. Everyone is invited to enjoy themselves with some refreshments that was generously donated by Annie Benarosh from her bakery that she made herself. In memory of her father, Mordechai ben Hasidus, and the Neshama Shel the highest points in Gan Eden. Thank you, Annie. And I'm assuming that everything is there. There. Okay. Please enjoy yourselves. We're going to Daven Marv evening service in the large classroom starting at 8:30.
When I turn.
Good, great.
I'm just, should I stop recording?